Let's be honest. Nobody talks about how hard it is to be consistent when you're emotionally exhausted. I'm not talking about tired, lazy, or unmotivated, but emotionally exhausted. The kind where your body and even your spirit feels heavy. Your brain feels foggy. You're triggered by little things. You just don't have the energy for anything, even though you physically know you should. And you're trying to heal while still showing up for your life every day. And meanwhile, the world is screaming, be disciplined, do more, hustle harder, level up. But you're just trying to make it through the day and maybe even out of bed. So today, I want to talk about how to build real consistency because we can't just escape the responsibilities of our lives, nor do we want to give up on our goals. I'm not talking about hustle culture consistency, but sustainable, grace filled, biblically grounded consistency, even when your nervous system is tired and your heart is weary and healing. Emotional exhaustion shows up in so many ways. It can look like snapping faster than usual, avoiding tasks you know really matter, feeling behind all the time, or like you're not good enough, brain fog, wanting to isolate, crying over small things, or just feeling numb. And in a culture that rewards excellence at all times, you can start to believe that something is wrong with you. But here's what I've learned. Most people don't actually have a problem with inconsistency. That is just a symptom of a much deeper issue. They're overwhelmed, overcommitted, overstimulated, and massively undersupported, still healing from things they never fully processed, carrying it all around with them, and trying to perform like nothing ever happened. One of the biggest traps I see, and I've honestly fallen into this myself, is planning your goals around your ideal life. You plan as if the kids won't get sick. You'll sleep perfectly. No emotional triggers will show up. Work will go smoothly. You'll always feel motivated and everything is aligned. And then when real life happens, which it does, you'll feel like you failed. But here's my biggest hack that I've learned the hard way over time. I plan for my real life, not my ideal life or the should life. The things I should be able to do. I plan for what I actually can do no matter what. I build consistency around my worst days, the chaotic days, the emotionally heavy days, the trigger days, the low capacity days when I feel like I have nothing left to give, the days when it all feels too much and nothing's going right. And if I can stay consistent there at that baseline, then everything else is a bonus. That shift alone changes everything and helps me to show up even on my worst days. When I am emotionally exhausted, I do three main things. One, I shrink everything. If my goal is to finish a project, I shrink it to do the very next smallest step. If my goal is write one page, I shrink it to write one sentence. If my goal is spend time with God, I shrink it to pray 5 minutes or listen to one verse instead of read an entire chapter. Consistency isn't about intensity or volume. It's simply about continuity. Zechariah 4:10 says, "Do not despise these small beginnings. Small is nothing to be ashamed of. This season in your life, take it as a small beginning." Two, I only focus on what actually matters. When you're exhausted, everything feels urgent, but it's not. I ask myself, if I only accomplish one thing today that truly moves my life forward, what is it? And I let that be enough. This is something both high performance mentors and biblical wisdom agree on. You cannot do everything. You can't do everything well, but you can do the right thing, even if it's a small thing. Jesus himself didn't heal everyone in every town. He moved with clarity and alignment. You can too. Three, I plan around my hardest days. This one changed my life. Instead of creating a schedule based on my best case scenario, I ask myself, What would this look like on a chaotic Tuesday? What would this look like if I slept badly, if I'm triggered, if something unexpected happens, if my family schedule changes, and then everything I planned has to change too? Then I build my systems to survive that version of it. That's resilience, hard earned wisdom, and maturity that comes after lots of lessons learned. Proverbs talks constantly about the wise building their house carefully, not building castles in the air, but foundations that hold. Practical and based on reality, not ideal reality, is a start to building on that foundation. Here's another important thing I learned. Emotional exhaustion worsens when you try to carry everything alone. Delegation is not weakness. Asking for help is not failure. It's actually stewardship. Even Moses needed help holding up his arms. Even Jesus withdrew to rest. You were never meant to carry everything yourself. And sometimes consistency isn't doing more, it's doing less so that you can do it well. Now we're going to talk about some hidden things: trauma, triggers, and grace. If you are healing from past trauma, if certain seasons activate old wounds, if you're rebuilding your nervous system, you cannot compare your pace to someone who isn't doing that internal work. Healing takes energy. Processing takes energy. Learning new patterns takes energy. So if you feel slower right now, you're not broken. You're rebuilding. And rebuilding is holy work of the utmost importance that has a positive ripple effect. Let's look at what real consistency is and what it isn't. Real consistency is not perfect mornings, 4 a.m. routines, no bad days, crushing every goal, crossing everything off that to do list. Real consistency is showing up imperfectly, keeping promises at 20% of your capacity instead of 120%, shrinking the goal to be more realistic instead of quitting, planning for real life, and above all, trusting God with the growth, the timing, the how it's done, and the what all is done. 1 Corinthians 3 says, I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. You do your tiny part. He handles the multiplication. You aren't meant to replace God in capacity and do it all either. If you need something simple, here it is. When emotionally exhausted, shrink the task, focus on one essential, plan for chaotic days, ask for help, give yourself biblical grace. That's it. No hustle, no shame, no unrealistic expectations, just faithful steps. If this message resonates with you, this is exactly why I created Divine Wellness Holistic for overall health. It's not about hustle or extremes. It's about building simple foundational rhythms that support your nervous system, your body, your faith, and your real life. We focus on small, sustainable shifts for your real life, not your ideal life, the kind that actually stick. If you're tired of the all or nothing cycle, that space was built for you. And if you're in a season of deeper identity work, healing, alignment, restoration, rebuilding who you are beneath the exhaustion, that's what my other community, Divine Alignment Academy, is for. It's where we go deeper into identity, calling, emotional resilience, spiritual alignment, and building a life that reflects who God actually created you to be. You can learn more about each community by clicking the links in the description box below. If you're emotionally exhausted right now, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not behind. You are not weak. You are not failing. You are human. And consistency in this season may look quieter, smaller, slower. But small, faithful steps still move mountains over time. Grace is not the opposite of discipline. It's the foundation for sustainable discipline. Plan for real life, shrink the task, trust the process, and let God handle the increase. I'm walking this with you. I'm rooting for you, and I'll see you in the next video.